Hey Virgos, I hope you guys are doing great. It's Tipsy here to do your money and career reading for whenever you are led to this video. Let's jump right in and start by seeing which area of your life, is most being impacted by money right now. So we have security and we have giving. Let's see what questions Spirit wants to ask you right now. Okay, and the question that we have for you is values. What is the relationship between what you care about most and what you're spending the most money on? What can you learn from this observation, and what do you want to do about it? All right, Virgo. So there feels like there's a question, and this is so very wholesome because Virgo, it feels as though there's a part of you that is so sweet, that is so kind, that is so generous, that it feels as though you have this desire to give to others, that you're the type of person who would spoil your friends, that you would spoil your family, because that's sort of how you feel about them, that you want the people around you to have what it is that you have. You don't want to see the people that you care about in lack. But there's sort of this element, Virgo, that you are giving a whole lot to the point where it might actually be impacting your own security, or you're sort of thinking about how to find balance between the two, making sure that you're okay and making sure that the people around you are okay. It almost feels as though, like, kind of what you see with big athletes, right? Or like singers or rappers or whatever. They get a big contract, and the first thing that they do is start spending money on everybody around them, because that's sort of how they feel. They want to make sure that everything is taken care of. But a lot of times you see those same people sort of end up struggling because they've given everything that they have away. So it feels as though right now, Virgo, whatever's happening is, sort of has you in this place where you're trying to figure out how to have it all and then make sure that people around you do as well. And so I guess one of the questions is, why do you feel so compelled to make sure that everybody else is okay? Is that just part of who you are? Are you expecting something in return? Is this only temporary? Is this something that you actually want to do, or is it something that you feel a little bit more pressured to do? So let's jump into some tarot and see what else is going on. And we're going to start with your foundations with money. Like, where are you when it comes to your relationship with money? We have the Tower in reverse, and we also have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And I think from a financial perspective, Virgo, you're okay. Like, things are pretty stable with you. There's nothing crazy that's going on. It doesn't feel as though you're in a place of really struggling or anything like that. Things just feel very calm. It's like you have enough for yourself. It feels as though I can't quite tell if you truly have enough for everybody else, but it almost feels as though you giving what you have is status quo. Like, it's just what you do. It's par for the course. And it's been that way for some time, Virgo. It feels as though you've been generous forever. Looking at what's influencing money for you right now, we have the King of Pentacles. Let's see if we can clarify that a little bit further. The King of Pentacles is usually someone who is, they're abundant. They have enough for themselves. They have this pentacle that they're always willing to give others. And with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, this is not someone who holds back. This is someone who gives very freely, right? So there's this element of generosity that's sort of flowing all through this reading, Virgo. It feels very pure. It feels very lighthearted. But this is the energy that you're in, is one of generosity, one of sort of giving. So not a bad thing. It feels very sweet, right? It feels like you might be some type of philanthropist in your own way where you're stable and you're willing to give. Now, what we have for you in terms of obstacles or opportunities, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So there's an element right here of working, right? And I almost feel like this is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because it feels as though you're putting in a lot of effort and a lot of energy into other people to make sure that they are okay. And there might be some instances where this can hinder you from doing the things that you sort of want to do, where you might see this money better utilized or better spent. What I'm also feeling for some of you is that whatever these things are, these people are that you're supporting outside of yourself, there might be an opportunity to capitalize on that and turn it into something a little bit more formal that will actually bring you additional income, that will bring you additional prosperity, abundance. So it feels like sort of two things that are happening right now. One, you're going to, continue working for other people for their benefit. And I don't necessarily know if that's effort that you want to continue to expend like indefinitely, is what it feels like. There's almost this element of you're okay with it now, but at what point is it going to start being stressful for you? And again, for others, there might be an opportunity for all of this giving that you do to actually turn it into something that makes you more money. Now, looking at your advice for actions going forward, we have the Four of Cups, and let's see if we can clarify that a little bit more. We also have the Princess of Torches. So with the Four of Cups, this is someone who is sort of in a state of refusal, right? They're kind of saying, no, I don't want to do that. And with the Princess of Torches, this is someone who's saying it with a little bit of conviction. So it feels as though to get, for you, Virgo, to not get to the point where you're burnt out, or not get to the point where you are starting to sort of sacrifice your own well-being, your own security going forward, that you might think about sort of starting to say no to some people. Because you give so freely, it's almost become this situation where people expect that you will just give and you won't ask any questions, and they don't necessarily think about the impact that it has on you. So it feels as though Spirit is saying, maybe this is time to think a little bit more about who you're giving to, why you're giving to them. Making sure that it's not out of obligation, and making sure that it's something that you actually believe in. That it's something that you truly think will be beneficial to the other person and to yourself. Making sure that you make sure that your needs, your security is taken care of first and foremost. So let's take a peek at your potential futures. We have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Let's see if we can clarify that a little bit further. Okay. We have Strength in reverse, and we also have the Prince of Torches. So Virgo, it feels like for a little while continuing, I think that you're a bit of a softie when it comes to money. And I think that you are going to continue being a little bit self-sacrificing for these folks around you. That you are going to continue to give to them. And I think that at some point you're going to have a little bit of a wake-up call that says, this is starting to stress me. This doesn't feel right. I need to make some changes in how I handle my money and how I handle these people around me. So it feels like a little bit of a wake-up call, Virgo, and I hope that it doesn't come by somebody, doing something disingenuous or underhanded or something like that. But it definitely feels like when it comes to money, people sort of look at you as a softie. They look at you as, as a bit of an ATM, that you were incredibly generous, and that expectation is there. But I think after a certain point, you're going to put a stop to it. So let's take a peek at your final message, your final business, career, finance message from Spirit. We have entertain. Your brand should educate and entertain your clients. Make them smile, laugh, and feel great when they interact with you and your brand. So I think that whatever it is that you're ultimately going to do in terms of bringing in money that's going to bring about your security, there's this very sweet-spirited energy that comes along with you. And I feel like for a lot of folks, that's going to tie in with this opportunity to turn your generosity into something that gives you more financial security. And a big chunk of that is going to be from you as a person, this energy that you bring. So this might be a situation where you're like, since you enjoy helping people so much, perhaps you're a life coach. Perhaps you are a financial advisor. And this is you sort of letting your spirit through, making people comfortable with you, having them feel at ease, making them feel like you're a friend to them. It feels like these two are super, super tied together. I think, Virgo, that there's an opportunity to leverage your helping nature, because that feels like just who you are at your core, is that you want to make sure that others are okay. You want to make sure that they have what they need, but not at the expense of yourself. So it feels as though there's a way for you to do both, where you can make sure that people are okay, but in doing so, you're making sure that you're okay as well. And I think that you are going to slowly start cutting yourself off or distancing yourself from people who sort of just take from you and don't necessarily give you anything in return and aren't really concerned about your well-being, your financial stability and security. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here right now, Virgo. It feels as though there's a little bit of introspection that needs to be had right now, but also keeping your eyes open for opportunities to become more financially secure through helping people, which is your sort of natural inclination. So Virgos, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm sending you all huge hugs.